BQ-Minded is an EU-funded ITN Marie Curie research project, coordinated by IMEC Vision Lab, a research lab of the Department of Physics of the University of Antwerp, specialized in MRI image reconstruction, processing and analysis. This project is relying on the strength and the collaboration of the following academic and industrial players. In the BQ-Minded project, 15 young researchers from all over the world will join forces to further develop and implement quantitative MRI. These researchers will be intensively trained in a special multidisciplinary program and will become highly skilled professionals in quantitative MRI.
Magnetic resonance imaging, or MRI, is an imaging technique that can provide highly detailed images of the interior of the human body, for example the brain. Unfortunately, conventional MRI images are qualitative, meaning that the contrast in these images not only depends on the underlying tissues, but also depends on the type of MRI scanner and the imaging protocol that were used to acquire the image, which has no clinical relevance to the radiologist. This makes it hard to compare MRI images, even if the same patient is scanned twice with different MRI scanners. In the BQ-Minded project, we target quantitative MRI instead of qualitative MRI. In quantitative MRI, the contrast in the images only depends on the tissue properties of the patient, so no longer on the scanner that was used to acquire the images. The BQ-Minded project will allow radiologists to more objectively draw conclusions about brain diseases and to follow up patients in time.
Since its development in the 1980s, MRI has proven to be a highly versatile imaging technique in modern medicine. While conventional MRI brain images are highly valuable to radiologists, they are only qualitative.
Radiologists are medical doctors who are specifically trained to make a diagnosis on the basis of patient imaging data. What is much more difficult for radiologists is to actually compare data sets of one patient over time, or to compare imaging data sets of different patients. It is possible to use so-called quantitative imaging acquisitions to actually make full use of the quantitative data within an image. These acquisition protocols generally tend to take more time, which is a disadvantage in the clinical world because time is money. The scientists at the Vision Lab of the University of Antwerp have now developed techniques that make it possible to obtain these quantitative imaging data in a much shorter time, less than half the time that used to be necessary for this. And this is a very important development, not only for science, but also for clinical practice, because it means that doctors will be able to provide the best service to an individual patient at one time point, but also to compare data over time and compare data between different patients. And this is very new and a very exciting development.
Located at the heart of Rotterdam, the Erasmus Medical Center is the biggest university hospital in the Netherlands. The BQ-Minded project will develop new quantitative MRI solutions which will provide diagnostics and disease monitoring with higher precision than ever before. Our team at the Erasmus Medical Center aims to solve two of the main issues of quantitative MRI: long scan duration and artifacts due to patient motion. Using advanced statistical models and emerging artificial intelligence techniques, we will develop new methods to reconstruct high-quality MRI images from short acquisitions which are also robust to patient motion.
The Institute of Neuroscience and Medicine at the Research Centre Jülich employs about 400 people, all investigating the brain. temporal scale as well as the length scale. We want to investigate millisecond changes in the brain right through to changes in the aging brain, in an aging population. We want to be able to investigate the brain in its spatial resolution well below a micron, right through to, of course, the whole brain itself. The future for the Institute of Neuroscience and Medicine is to develop key technologies, cutting-edge methods that we can employ to study the brain. And what we want to do is to understand that structural changes in the brain are normally preceded by functional changes, and these functional changes are often preceded by metabolic changes. And we want to investigate the metabolic changes that take place in the brain, which occur much earlier than the structural changes which are right at the end of the chain.
iqMRI helps patients, healthcare professionals, and pharmaceutical companies enter the era of personalized care for neurological conditions by enabling value-based care through data-driven insights and artificial intelligence. Through the BQ-Minded project, iqMRI will help overcome the current barriers to the clinical adoption of advanced quantitative MRI by developing widely applicable post-processing breakthroughs together with research and industry partners. Within the BQ-Minded project, iqMRI will focus on harmonizing brain MRI diffusion parameter maps for multi-center applications and developing robust solutions for the quantification of diffusion metrics in a clinical environment. This to pave the way for the adoption of advanced quantitative MRI into routine clinical practice and clinical trials.
MR Solutions is a world leader in magnetic resonance imaging technology, developer and manufacturer of the world's first range of commercial, superconducting, cryogen-free benchtop MRI systems. MR Solutions accessorizes its preclinical MRI and CT scanners with PET and SPECT modules, enables a broad range of applications, from preclinical imaging to food, industrial and commercial applications. MR Solutions scanner offers superior soft tissue contrast and high spatial resolution, as well as high contrast imaging capability for great visualization and quantification, all in a compact size. MR Solutions is one of the commercial partners of the BQ-Minded project. The early-stage researchers here are working on quantitative MRI and to enable the next generation of MRI scans with compressed sensing. Quantitative MRI joins physics, advanced pulse sequence design, and parameter estimation models to obtain maps of physical quantities of clinical interest and make sure that these are as precise, accurate, and reproducible as possible. While compressed sensing is one of the most established acceleration methods in magnetic resonance, we are working on the development of non-Cartesian trajectories and compressed sensing-based reconstruction for faster acquisitions and artifacts-free images.
Quantip is a scale-up focused on improving patient care by bringing artificial intelligence into clinical practice. Started in 2012 as a spin-out from Erasmus MC, Quantip now has AI partnerships with, amongst others, Erasmus MC Rotterdam and UMC Utrecht. It has clinical and commercial partners across Europe and North America and has multiple products cleared by the FDA and CE marked. Using advanced machine learning and deep learning techniques, Quantip's products can detect changes in tissue sooner than would be possible with the naked eye. The BQ-Minded project aims to develop faster quantitative MRI for introducing it into clinical practice by combining research, innovation, and education. The focus of Quantip in the BQ-Minded project is to extract accurate imaging biomarkers from quantitative MRI, for example brain structures from T1 and T2 maps or prostate lesions from ADC maps.
Siemens Healthineers is one of the world's largest suppliers of technology of the healthcare industry and a leader in medical imaging, laboratory diagnostics, and healthcare IT. At Siemens Healthineers, we value close scientific cooperation with the research community. In our opinion, these partnerships are crucial to help shape the healthcare of tomorrow. The BQ-Minded project aims to improve the image quality and acquisition time of quantitative MRI. Our goal is to implement super-resolution reconstruction algorithms on our SynGo via Frontier post-processing platform and validate them in a clinical environment.
The Center for Computational Imaging and Simulation Technologies in Biomedicine, CISTIB, is a joint initiative of the Faculty of Engineering and Physical Sciences and the Faculty of Medicine and Health. The main area of research in CISTIB is computational medicine, which uniquely combines research at the interface between biomedical imaging and sensing, image and signal processing, and personalized modeling and simulation. Researchers in CISTIB work across a number of different application domains which focus on the patients to improve the understanding and treatment of human diseases, future healthcare, and patient management, with special emphasis on cardiology, angiology, neurology, and orthopedics. CISTIB extensively collaborates with other parts of the university, and with universities, industry and healthcare professionals across the world. Until today, CISTIB has played an active role in over 25 outstanding national and European projects, both funded by public and private bodies, and has delivered the innovative solutions and results of the research in the form of technologies and publications. Within the BQ-Minded project, 2 researchers will work on developing a numerical framework for studying myocardium microstructure and a fast and efficient acquisition and reconstruction framework for accelerating diffusion MRI in the heart.
The BQ-Minded members will create an e-learning environment to provide academia, the wider public, and higher education students with online training on quantitative MRI. The e-learning platform will be available as a YouTube channel and will put together a collection of educational videos and podcasts carefully prepared by the ESRs of the project, senior researchers and professors. The content of the platform will cover a broad variety of topics including MR physics, MR acquisition and reconstruction, diffusion MRI, advanced parameter estimation and much more. The platform will be launched in October 2021 during the ESMR-MB 2021 online congress. At the time of the conference, the BQ-Minded researchers will give an overview of the structure of the platform, the offered content and the learning possibilities.